Welcome back to RetroB8 and welcome to the Commodore 64 Wonder years 1984, where I was only 8 years old and a Commodore 64 would set you back £249. These are my favourite 10 games from that year. First off, we start at number 10 with Park Patrol, which was published by Activision and created by Tony and Go. Now I'm pretty sure I got this on a Commodore format cover tape, but wow, once I played it, I just kept coming back for more. You take the role of head parkie and you've got to look after the welfare of your beautiful park and the river that runs through it, a task which involves whizzing around the place on foot and in your powerboat. In 9th we've got the impressive Pitstop 2, which was published by Epix. In 1984, this was the best racing sim around on any computer. Its principal advantage is the superb 2-player mode, using the split screen to give real head-to-head competition, but even in 1-player mode, Pitstop 2 was just superb. With 6 different tracks and a Grand Prix option where you can play each one to win the World Championship, and there's also a few different difficulty levels, this will keep you interested for quite a while. In 8th we've got the epic joystick waggler Summer Games, published by Epix. Okay, so the only real waggler here is the 100-metre sprint, though rhythmic fire pressing is required for both the swimming events, and back on land the 4x100-metre sprint is more strategic, with you simply controlling the speed of the runner to make the optimum use of your energy. Like all Epix games, Summer Games is brilliantly presented with loads of practice and competition options. Graphics are also excellent with smooth animation in every event and the attractive backdrops. Most importantly, the events play really well, requiring lots of practice to get the best out of them. Great fun to play with a group of friends. In 7th, we've got Boulder Dash, which was published by First Star Software. In this game, you play as Rockford, and you've got to try and collect as many diamonds as you can in a total of 16 caves with 5 difficulty levels. I never completed this one back in the day, but it's such a cool game and I think it's aged really well. Even my kids still enjoy playing it to this day. There was a reason why this game was ported to almost every computer system at the time, and it's simply that it is such an addictive quality game. Now in 6th, we've got Space Taxi. Now, people in Europe and in the UK might not be too familiar with this game because criminally it was never released here, but only stateside. The premise of the game, well, it's pretty simple. Of course, you're a taxi and you're floating about in space and you've got to make some money. It's kind of a little bit like Thrust and, yeah, Crazy Taxi, but in 1984. I mean, yes, it might look a little bit dated now, but trust me, give this one a shot. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. In 5th, of course, we've got Ghostbusters. We can't talk about 1984 without mentioning Ghostbusters. You all knew it was going to be here. I mean, well, it was on the thumbnail after all. Ghostbusters was published by Activision, and wow, I played this a lot back in the day. I was such a massive fan of the movie, and this game did not disappoint me.
He slimed me!
Being a huge fan of digitised voice back in the 80s on my Commodore 64, this game just hit all the spots, and I've just got so much nostalgia for it. In 4th, we've got Hero by Activision, also known as Helicopter Emergency Rescue Operation, which, yeah, that is quite a mouthful, so I'm kind of glad that we just call it Hero. The game is set in a mine's dank shafts and caverns. Hero follows the exploits of Roderick Hero, a member of the Hero team. He's kitted out with a helipack, dynamite and a laser pistol, and old Rodders, he's got to descend into the dark depths and rescue a party of lost miners. Of course, that's where you come in, to take over the controls, and wow, this really is such a fun game. Top 3 time, and we've got Bruce Lee by Datasoft, and I'd be in some serious trouble if this game wasn't included in this list. As the legendary martial arts expert, your aim is to discover the secret immortality and gain infinite riches by infiltrating the wizard's fortress and finding his secret treasure cavern. Although Bruce Lee isn't as graphically or sonically as good as some other games on the Commodore 64, it's far from being a dusty old fossil and it's just so addictive. Just missing out on top spot is Spy vs Spy, which was published by First Star Software. I used to spend a huge amount of time at my nana's playing this game against my cousin. We used to play for hours and hours. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we did know how to set the traps, and there was just no feeling like when your opponent opened the door and a bucket of water fell on his head. It was just amazing. Huge nostalgia. Excellent game. And top spot, it's Impossible Mission from Epix. Now, this is a very special game for me because before I even had a Commodore 64, this was one of the first games I ever played at my best friend's house. This was the game that sold me that I needed a Commodore 64 in my life. The digitized speech, the gameplay, everything was just absolutely amazing. To me, it's just as playable now as it was then. The first thing to grab me was the animation, but also the voice. The speech was incredibly good with 5 different selections, including a blood-curdling scream where your agent falls to his death. I really hope you've enjoyed looking back at the Commodore 64 Wonder years 1984 with me today. Remember, if the Commodore 64 or the Amiga or other 8-bits are your type of thing, then please like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future content.